Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about the solution to Dungeons & Dragons edition problem. All right, so let me define the problem. All right, so first of all, we're currently in 5th edition. It's a tremendously good edition, okay? A lot of people are happy. It healed a lot of wounds from 4th edition, okay? Now, at this point, Mike Merles very recently was asked, hey, when's 6th edition planning going to start? And he shut that noise down fast. He's like, there are currently absolutely no plans to make 6th edition. We're not thinking about that at all, right? Now, you know, by the way, I love Mike Merles. I think he's fantastic. I really think what he accomplished for Dungeons & Dragons is just unparalleled. He's one of the greatest creators the game has ever known. And he honors the history that Gary Gygax established. You know what I mean? So I'm a big fan, right? But one of the things that I think is interesting is, I'll tell you right now, I believe 6th edition has started. 6th edition design started specifically with the hiring of Kate Welch, and here's why. I think as the first panoptically heralded Dungeons & Dragons A-Team game designer, I think Mike Merles recognized that Kate Welch was the perfect person to be the lead designer for Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition, right? Now, the reality is, I don't think Word 1 has been written for 6th edition, but what the stage is happening right now is Kate Welch is being brought in, and she's going to be mentored, in my opinion, by Chris Perkins and Mike Merles directly, and she's going to be positioned to be the 6th edition lead designer. It makes sense for a world of reasons, for a whole lot of reasons, and I think it's a really good pick. I think Kate Welch will be an absolutely rock-solid, stable lead designer for 6th edition. And I think 6th edition is incredibly important because every edition of Dungeons & Dragons is incredibly important. What is the edition problem? Here's the edition problem. When you announce that you are creating the new edition, there is a shudder that goes through the community, right? And the Dungeons & Dragons community, and they're like, oh no, my $200 worth of books or my $2,000 worth of books are at threat. They're worthless now. I can, basically, you could just take those books and throw them in a hole and cover them with dirt, because, and that is terrible. There's no way to stop it. The second the Wizards of the Coast announces 6th edition design has started, there is going to just be this agonizing, pained shudder of the community. So you need to solve that problem, right? The other thing is it scares the living crap out of all FLGSs, local friendly local game shops, right? And the reason why is all their stock is just like, it just goes in the toilet, right? Because everything on their shelves is junk. Everybody's like, oh, well, I guess, every one of these books is on a clock, and, and they're all terrible. Burn them, right? It's just, it really, now no one says burn their books. I'm just, the internet gets hyped up, you know what I mean? And even the store owners are going to be very upset. They're going to be like, oh, crap, you know what I mean? So you got this issue, you got this real problem that you really have to solve, which is, what do you do with the edition problem? Well, here's what you do with the edition problem, right? You fix it, right? And here's how you fix it. From now on, there should be a brand new edition of Dungeons & Dragons every 3 years. And every single edition of Dungeons & Dragons should be locked to one setting, okay? So 6th edition Dungeons & Dragons should be 6th edition, right? That's what it says on the cover. On the back, the first word on the back is Faerun, and it gives a description of that setting, and it is brand new rules that are specific to Faerun, and you play Dungeons & Dragons in Faerun with 6th edition. 3 years after that, 7th edition comes out. 7th edition is brand new rules with Dark Sun. 8th edition comes out 3 years after that, and that is Windmarl. And Windmarl is a brand new setting, right? And there are brand new rules. And that's how you fix it, right? Is you lock each edition of Dungeons & Dragons to a specific setting, and then you iterate it every 3 years, right? And to the normies, people who are just like, I'd like to play some Dungeons & Dragons, they're going to pick up Dungeons & Dragons and they're going to play it, right? And they're not really going to know that it's locked to one setting, and they're not going to really even know that you were ever able to run generic worlds with Dungeons & Dragons, right? And the reality is, Dungeons & Dragons does not need to equip anyone to run generic worlds, and the reason why is there's a whole host of indie gamers out there. The best generic setting tabletop role-playing game in the world for fantasy right now is Index Card RPG. It is glamorously simple and elegant. It runs smooth as glass and fast as a cheetah, man. And honestly, I don't think Wizard Coast would be capable of writing a game like that, right? And the reason why is not because they can't do it. They're so busy with Dungeons & Dragons, and they have so much on their shoulder. Right now, every edition is trying to be everything for everybody, and I think we need to stop that. And the other thing is this new lock each edition to a setting, and then have new rules for that are specific to that setting alone. It gives some limitations to players, but it stops this terror shudder that goes through the community every time there's a new edition of Dungeons & Dragons. Or, since it's coming every 3 years, what it does is it just normalizes that shudder to a low murmur rather than a great outcry, which is what it is right now. So that's how you fix the Dungeons & Dragons edition problem. Take care.